roll. So we have our first official guest here today,
Yes, sir.
Shane. Got a lot to talk about, Shane.
Absolutely.
Yeah. First of all, I've known you for a couple of years now, at least
2 or 3 years, yeah.
two or 3 years.
Yep.
Yeah. And we've worked out together, and we've had a lot of interesting conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about time we bring it to the podcast.
Yep, I'm down.
Okay. All right. First, I want to cover is like a little bit about your background.
Right.
Like, like how did you get into the bodybuilding world? How did you get into the fitness world in general?
It really it started in college.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably 20, 21 years old. I met actually a bodybuilder through one of my classes. We had a group presentation together, and so I was just mesmerized by his body. He was like, wow, this guy's got some discipline. Like
Right.
he was working on his pro card. He was like 24 years old. I was like around like 20.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, what's kind of interesting is I was partying a lot, girls partying, all that, college stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed was my whole life, I always played sports. My whole life, I've, ate pretty healthy. And I started getting a little bit like depressed
Mm-hmm.
and probably drinking too much, eating bad food. My body wasn't used to that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of going like up and down, up and down. My grades were kind of like, just because of depression, alcohol, focusing on the wrong things. And so I met this guy. He was in a group present, and I was just like, man, like how, like your body's amazing. Like, how did you get this way? So he's like, oh well, I'm working on my pro card.
Your body's still amazing, by the way.
Right.
No homo.
right. And so like he's actually the one that first gave me inspiration of it, because I was like, wow, like I met an actual person that's a bodybuilder, and I was just like, wow, like how did you get this way? So as I got to know him more, he's like, well, hey, how about you come to the gym with me? And I was like, what, really?
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of started like teaching me, and I started slowly taking it more serious. He showed me how to eat properly. He showed me how to work out, correct form. He showed me kind of the way in a different path. And so once I realized this path versus, drinking all the time, girls, just focusing on the wrong things, I slowly noticed that as my body started getting slowly better, and I actually kicked the drinking too. So, I was drinking probably 3, 4, 5 nights a week.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes binge drinking like a bottle of liquor. So that's probably one reason why I was depressed. But, when you're a kid and 19, 20 years old, you don't really realize. So this guy, he kind of introduced me to this world. But what I noticed was I slowly was not depressed anymore. So even like my mom was like, oh, hey, you need to see a therapist, this and that, because I started getting really down. And so that's kind of what woke me up, and I started going towards it like a different path. Matter of fact, I changed my degree to a kinesiology degree.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so exercise physiology. And so just more and more as he started showing me, and I started realizing like, wow, I can do this. I can actually build muscle, feel better. And I started correlating it. So I started doing more research on it, and it kind of led me down this path, and where essentially it became a passion of mine.
Okay.
And so it's like a lifelong passion. So then it turned into, from there to a little bit more into it, like bodybuilding and whatnot. I did one show, or attempted one show.
Mm-hmm.
But like the actual like bodybuilding show, I didn't really quite go towards that path,
Mm-hmm.
but more of a like recreational bodybuilder.
Got it. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
Almost 43.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, so almost 43 years old. So
you look, it's crazy what you could achieve. The people that are
right.
like, oh, I'm in my 30s now, I'm in my 40s now.
Yep.
It's insane what you could achieve even in later age.
So just learning about health more, food,
Yeah.
Nutrition, how it makes you feel. So it's when you feel good, your brain functions better.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel good, your self-esteem goes up. When you feel good, you can accomplish more in life. You have more ambition in life. It's one of those things where it just really woke me up. And
Right.
that's why I became so passionate about it.
Right.
And so,
Me and Chris, we talk about being physically active and
yeah,
things like that.
yeah.
Uh, Chris does jujitsu,
Hmm.
and I've
Yeah.
been playing sports since high school,
Hmm.
and then that's what's kept me,
Hmm.
like feeling good.
Yeah.
And I try to explain that to the younger generation
Me
how
too.
important it is,
Yep.
and they just take it as like it's an extra task
Hmm.
rather than taking it as a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. And that's exactly what I try to do, because what people don't understand is when you're going through puberty,
Mhm.
that is the most critical time to be active. And
Mhm.
I'll explain why. So, for instance, we have what's called like myonuclei. So, myonuclei are muscle cells. You can only develop myonuclei when you have a high enough GH and testosterone. So, what the problem is the kids of today, looking at their phones too much screen time, blue light spectrum, bad food, microplastic. I mean, it's all these variables combined affect our endocrine system.
Mhm.
Our endocrine system is what produces hormones, secretagogues. So
Mhm.
secretagogues are cells or glands that produce actual hormones, whether the GH, testosterone, whatnot, luteinizing hormone, uh, FSA or FSH, which converts into your Leydig cells, basically absorb that. And essentially, what ends up happening is you produce testosterone through that. So, what ends up happening when you essentially are not eating a healthy diet, blue light spectrum, you're not getting that proper testosterone. So my point is that when you're a kid and you do nothing, play video games all the time, no activity, no sports, you can't develop that myonuclei, muscle cells. So
Interesting.
once you develop a muscle cell, it's with you for the rest of your life, even if it shrinks, just like a fat cell. So that's
That's
why it's critical. That's why athletes
Mhm.
always function so much better. So even if they take 20 years off, so let's say they're a high school athlete and go to college and they're a collegiate athlete. Let's say they take 20 years off. That muscle memory, have you ever heard that term?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your central nervous system remembering where you were once at one point in time. So your hormones are more balanced when you're moving, when you're eating right, when you're playing sports, things like that. And so it gives you, I guess you could call it a set point. So when you set a set point, your body remembers where you were once at. And so that's what is so like critical for kids to start young. It sets them up for the rest of their life.
It's almost like a generational thing in a way. If you think
100%.
about like the older generation,
Hmm.
the concept of masculinity was a little
Hmm.
bit more intensified compared to the new
Yes.
generation, which is
Yes.
video games and phones. And, yeah.
Absolutely. And the reason why masculinity is kind of taking a hit is because of that. So think of it like this: these kids now, because they're not getting their proper activity, proper nutrition, sugar. Oh my God, sugar is the biggest killer.
Mhm.
So when your skeletal muscles are not just muscles that move your appendages around, they actually balance out your hormones.
Mhm.
So you produce like myokines, for instance, that reduce inflammation. You produce all kinds of key hormones to balance out your whole body. Even like testosterone increases as you lift weights. So when you're not doing anything, the testosterone just stays stagnant and actually starts to drop. Matter of fact, I think since the 70s, our ages like 15 to 28, I think testosterone's gone down about 60%.
Yeah.
That's
That's
insane.
insane.
Yeah.
That's
Like
insane.
absolutely insane. And so, and it's confirmed, it's well known, it's not a good thing. So when you're going through puberty with high tests, elevated or wacky estrogen, it's going to affect the way you function. It's going to affect your ambition in life. It's going to affect so many different things, self-confidence, chasing women, whatever.
Mhm. Right.
So
Purpose. Chasing your
purpose.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a proven fact that testosterone not just, helps build muscle, but it also helps with your immune system. It helps with like your skin. I mean, it helps with so many different things. So it's not just for building muscle, testosterone. It really, honestly, for young men, it regulates everything.
Right. So, talking about testosterone, there's a lot of, when I remember I was in high school, there was a lot of kids taking
Hmm.
testosterone, and what do you think? It's safe to take when you're a kid,
Oh, absolutely not.
or
No, 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 not. Are you talking about injections?
yeah,
Like
injection,
exogenous?
yeah,
Like exogenous testosterone is a synthetic form.
yeah,
It's okay for people that are above 28, 30, but what I encourage people to do is get your blood work done first
Right.
and then see where it's at. Then have a healthier approach. So eat more foods that have zinc, magnesium, certain like minerals. That's what actually will help kind of balance out your testosterone. I mean, there's much more than just that. Vitamin D. I mean, there's several different vitamins that help with promoting testosterone, but you do it the natural way first.
Hmm.
If there's something wrong with you, your pituitary gland, testes, whatever, then you can look at testosterone, if it's needed. But typically you can reverse things, especially if you're under 28. And I don't encourage people to do it.
I feel like you don't even really need it till you're maybe 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like if you do the right things, yeah. I mean, it's important to get blood work, but if you follow protocols, and it's still like real low, because I mean, like for instance, like if you want to optimize your test, you want to be 800 to 1100, somewhere around there, and that's optimal testosterone. I mean, you're gonna feel really good, build muscle. You're not brain fog, ambitious.
So for blood work, what exactly are you testing? The panel is so wide.
Like free testosterone and total testosterone, just to see
Okay.
like where it's at.
You check anything
And-
else health
Well,
wise?
yeah, I mean, you want to see where so pregnenolone is the main precursor. So what pregnenolone does, that's what regulates how much test you get, how much estrogen you get. So you want to also like look at estrolone, which is a weaker form of estrogen, and the strongest form is estradiol. And let's say you have too much estradiol in your body, that is kind of like a metabolic waste, the end part of aromatization of testosterone. So we aromatize naturally. That's how we get estrogen. So if you can't remove estrogen, or it's actually estradiol, calcium gluconate. Calcium gluconate will help flush that out of your system. So it could be, it's usually a lot of times a mineral problem, or eating foods that have too high estrogen levels, or matter of fact, actually there's a lot of things that are receptors to estrogen, like for instance, adenosine, glucophosphate. That's in like post cereal. It's basically it's Roundup.
Wow.
So it's literally an estrogen receptor. So it's in like how much foods?
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everyone
so
uses it.
And it's a huge estrogen receptor. So it binds very, very well to estrogen. So it's hard to filter out all that metabolic waste that estrogen accumulates. Estradiol. And estradiol is the strongest form. So, eating or consuming foods that have more boron, and taking like a supplement like calcium gluconate will help kind of flush that out. Because what ends up happening if you don't have those certain minerals is basically your gut reabsorbs it, then your liver has to filter it back out, and it's that same process over and over, and it starts to accumulate if you can't throw it out of your body. So
Interesting.
yep. So
testosterone, these kind of things, they've been around for a long time. Since I heard the Nazis created it. Is that true?
testosterone,
Yeah. Or they used it a lot, I guess.
They used
to
a lot
create
of
super
things.
soldiers.
I think they used like LSD. They used all kinds of things like for to create
experiments. Yeah.
experiments, super soldiers.
Yeah.
And so, kind of like off topic, but that's kind of like what, what they call the MK Ultra,
Yeah.
from the experiments of like what our government took. So we took the Nazi,
Right.
basically scientists, and we kind of like we're basically experimenting, looking at their experiments or
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
And so
that kind of stuff's been for here for a long time.
Oh yeah, Tess has been for a long time.
Right. And some of the other steroids have been around for a long time as well. There's something new that's been popping up for almost a decade now, maybe longer, I don't know. Peptides.
Yep.
I wanted to really dive into peptides.
Yeah.
I feel like you're a peptide expert.
I love peptides. I've been doing peptides for 16 years.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I was introduced a compound pharmacist that I knew. He was the one that kind of introduced me. And this is probably like 16 years ago. And at first I was like, peptides? Like, what are peptides? So the very first one that I tried was, what was it? I think it was like CJC 1295. And so it's promotes basically like GH, natural GH. So it sends off little pulses. And so essentially what it does is it increases the secretoglogs to promote basically GH. So IGF-1 to GH.
Okay.
So-
Can you give like a overall brief definition of what peptides are?
Yeah, so peptides are like they're basically amino acids, essentially is what they are. So
They're not steroids.
They're not steroids whatsoever. And matter of fact, because I've been a trainer for 17 years, I've helped out clients with it for 12 years. And, let's say 12 years ago, I would, be like, hey, do you have achy joints or, you have tendonitis, this and that? I'd recommend BBC 157 and TB 500. And then people would be like, wait a second, you have to inject that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you do have to inject. Well, why do you have to inject? I don't want to take steroids, because they look at me and they would just assume like, oh, this dude's taking, steroids. So I don't want that. And so it took me extra time to like, no, these are amino acids. And so I'd explain it to them like,
but they will gladly take it if the doctor says.
yeah. But they'll gladly take it if the doctor says.
Yeah.
And so now, since peptides are blowing up, now people don't question as much.
Yeah.
Now I'll mention peptides. Oh, I love peptides.
Right.
That type of thing. Or, I saw it on TikTok, or I saw it on here. I saw this fitness influencer talking about it, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. How many types are there, and what are some, like, are there like hundreds or thousands? How many?
Honestly, yeah, hundreds. So there's different classifications. There's like nootropics for brain function, like for instance, like Cilank, C-Max, Pineolon, there's Cebroliacin. There's several different ones for just nootropics, like brain function. So like that helps with like neurogenesis, basically protecting your neurons. And actually some of them will actually reformulate new neurons. So that helps with like cognitive function. It helps with, really all kinds of things. Okay. And so then there's other classifications.
We need that one, Chris, for this podcast.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It helps you think more clear, anxiety, and it depends which one you're taking. They all function differently. Another classification is recovery, like I just mentioned, BBC 157, TB 500.
That's the Wolverine stack, right? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, mixed together. Yeah. So TB and BBC's Wolverine stack. If you take Clo, it's BBC, TB, copper peptide, and then KPV.
Okay.
And then the Glow is just the copper peptide, then TB, and the BBC.
Okay.
And
now, is there any side effects to taking them?
Some people get side effects, but they're nothing that causes like long-term damage. There's never been a reported death of any peptide ever recorded. Like I said, they're just branched chain amino acids. All they are, actually, this is a perfect analogy. They're just messengers. So your body already recognizes these profiles. They're just amino acids. So amino acids are broken down protein already. So also peptides work better too, like especially for people that don't eat a lot of protein, because they're proteins, amino acids.
Right.
So they're basically just like synthetic, or they're not synthetic, but they're synthetically in a sense made. But the way they operate in the human body is not synthetic. So they're messengers. So the body recognizes a profile and it's like, oh, okay, I know what to do with this. So it just optimizes your body, essentially is what it does.
Okay. And they have you tried different ones? And
all of them.
All of them? Have you? Okay.
not every single one.
So
I've tried a lot.
It's interesting because like you said 16 years, right?
Yeah.
And because like to everyone thinks this has been around for like 3, 4, 5 years
at the
most.
TB 500 was
created. I just heard about it. Just a short while ago.
For instance, like TB 500 was created in like 1960s.
Really?
Yeah. BBC 157, I think it was like early 90s. Most of them were created in like the mid 90s, 90s, or early 2000s.
What were they used for in the 60s?
Yeah.
Some scientists just, I don't know like the whole like backstory of it, but some scientists just figured out all TB 500 is thiamycin. So your thalamus gland produces thiamycin. Thiamycin, there's TB 500, and then there's thiamycin 1. So that thiamycin 1 increases more white blood cells and T cells, and it fights the infection. So it basically targets wherever there's like inflammation or a pathogen. It sends the white blood cells and T cells there to attack. So what TB 500 does is kind of like similar. You inject it. Let's say you have tendonitis in your elbow. You inject it anywhere. It will send the proteins there, and what it does is it stimulates angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is essentially the formulation of new capillaries, blood flow. So that's why they work so well, is because the only way your body heals is by having the more presence of blood flow.
Right.
Yeah. So being avascular is a bad thing. That means lack of blood flow. Being vascular is that's how you heal.
I mean, hence the exercises that you
Yeah.
do increases blood
Mhm.
flow, and it's good for you.
Yep. Just like you're not just exercising just for your body, either for your brain.
Right.
So it's a proven fact. It helps combat like Alzheimer's, dementia. Your brain's getting more blood flow. When it gets more blood flow, it functions better.
What do you think? Like if you look at our grandparents, they weren't chasing this human enhancement like our generation is.
Right.
You think is the availability of knowledge or the business side of it? What do you think?
The human body is a miraculous component. Like it figures things out. That's why we're here today. Our DNA adapts to the stimulus environment that we place upon it. Humans back then, they worked. Humans now, we sit down. We sit down, we play video games. We're not active. But our, grandparents, great grandparents before them were very active. They're outside moving stuff around, chopping wood. They're doing things.
Right.
So yeah, they're not big like bodybuilders. Like I said, like your body adapts to whatever you place upon it.
They also didn't have all the chemical exposures we do today.
Absolutely. And that's another thing. I mean, there's microplastics everywhere. And that is an endocrine disruptor that actually lowers, like we were talking about before, testosterone and elevates estrogen. It does a number of other things too. And so it's those variables. And then plus, unfortunately, our food corporations put a lot of toxins in our food. Matter of fact, every single year, there's more and more poison.
Yeah.
They're literally put in there. They're endocrine disruptors, they're carcinogenic, cause cancer. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
We're trying to eliminate expenses and increase profits. That's why.
That's 100% why. I think it's because they definitely see us as cash.
Yeah.
So, I mean, essentially, so like Big Pharma has no incentive to change anything. So Big Pharma creates drugs. They never cure anything. They just, all that does is just mask. It's just one giant mask. So when you heal the body, we're blessed with a body that heals itself if it's given the proper nutrients and the proper like variables, I guess you'd say.
It's like they say there's a pill for everything. Instead of that, why don't they say there's a solution for everything?
There's a solution. That's what I say.
And the solution is being healthy, being active,
and
eating.
And that's what
food.
I teach my clients is that 90% of everything that you want to achieve is through nutrition, even through peptides.
But that's not profitable.
No, it's not profitable. Nutrition, I mean, if we were to eat right, eliminate chemicals in our foods, be more conscientious of what we put in our bodies, these food corporations would get rid of all this stuff because they're making profit off of it. What's dirty about them is that they put chemicals in our food that makes us very, very addicted to it. Matter of fact, sugar has been shown to be just as addictive as Coke, and some say even heroin.
So I have a theory on sugar.
Yeah.
Now being a dad and having kids, I don't feed, me and my wife, we don't feed our kids sugar at all.
Smart.
But what I noticed being around other parents is that they introduce sugar to their kids.
Yes.
Like below the age of 1.
Yep. That's so bad.
The kid doesn't understand what sugar is. It is because the parents think it's cute. Right? Oh, look at that reaction. My kid is eating a cupcake.
It's a reward.
Yeah, but they don't know the damage they're doing long term.
No, they do not, because from 0 to 5 is the most critical time for brain development. And there was a 9-year study done on sugar intake, and sugar's literally in everything. So what sugar does is it stops the development of your brain. It actually disrupts your overall cognitive function, but it really damages like short-term memory essentially. And it's actually linked to things like autism, different disorders, learning disabilities. And I mean, look at today, like, man, like I think in the 70s, there was like 1 in 28,000 people or something like that had autism. I think now it's like 1 in 25 or 1 in 28. It's something like that. And so it's just a very common thing. And that part of it's because of, sugar.
Sugar, vaccines. Look how many vaccinations you give a kid.
Yep.
Well,
vaccines also can, because they're packed full of like heavy metals.
Yep.
Heavy metals, when you get too much accumulation in your body and your body can't extract it, it affects your central nervous system, which our central nervous system, part of our brain. So it's unfortunate, but ever since the presence of vaccines, sugar, human health has really deteriorated. And that's what, kind of like part of like my journey and my passion is like helping people. That's how I get satisfaction, just showing people kind of like the way that, there's other solutions that we were talking about before. We should be talking about solutions, not masking.
Right.
No, there's not a solution of, oh, I'm just going to take a pill and it's going to cure everything. No, that's not the way.
Well, it's the easy way, though.
It's the easy way.
If people don't want to go run on a treadmill, people don't want to change their diet.
And the thing is, they take that pill, then what ends up happening, there's a side effect to that.
Then you have to take another pill.
You got to take another pill, and then another pill, and then another pill. And then it just keeps going and going and going. I think it's like ages like 55 and up, they take like 5 prescription drugs like
That's
per day.
insane.
It's some crazy stat like that.
Well, they say cancer is metabolic in many ways, right? So you'll have a lot of people that'll argue genetic, but it started metabolically somewhere down the line and that family line.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
it causes like having a metabolic syndrome. Actually, matter of fact, all leading health related issues start with chronic inflammation first, which our diet causes chronic inflammation. We're not working out. Myokines, what I talked about earlier, reduces chronic inflammation. Literally, that's our muscles. Our muscle cells actually promote this. So it's all this like kind of like together. So when you have chronic inflammation, it leads to insulin resistance, and then it leads to mitochondria dysfunction. What is mitochondria responsible for? Brain function, how we utilize energy. So it's called a powerhouse of your cell. So when the mitochondria is damaged or not functioning right, not just your metabolism slow, you're more likely to have like insulin resistance. You're more likely to have brain fog, sluggish, tired, and the list goes on and on.
Think about like cold plunges, right? Like, they say taking cold showers is beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Imagine telling someone from 100 years ago, like that we have this privilege, to take a cold plunge. You'll be like, you crazy? We shower in cold water every day. We have showers back then.
Yeah, it's true. And then there's medical benefits to cold plunging. It does help boost testosterone. It reduces inflammation. So there's a lot of health benefits to that, and in sauna too. If you're a bodybuilder, you don't want to do too much cold plunging. The reason why is it shuts down mTOR. mTOR is what keeps us anabolic. What I mean by anabolic is mTOR, that chemical reaction, is responsible for producing muscle cells. It increases protein synthesis. So when you get if you do like a cold plunge too much, it can kind of shut that down a little bit. So, but it does help. I'm not saying don't do the cryotherapy or cold plunge, because it's very beneficial. You just do it on like non-training days.
Okay.
If you were a bodybuilder, though.
It enhances your metabolism too when you do cold plunges, right?
Yeah, technically. It'll actually increase your blood flow too.
Okay.
It's just the reason why it's not a good thing to do, like if you're really trying to build muscle, is because it shuts down mTOR, which that's responsible for like protein synthesis and building muscle tissue. So that's the only reason why. But
so we covered kind of the diet part and supplement part. To be in your 40s, to look like that, what's your workout regimen like? What does that look like?
Usually I work out anywhere from 5 to 6 days a week. I do more of like a split routine. I hit every muscle group at least twice.
Okay.
So a lot of times, like let's say I'm doing legs, so I'll do legs twice in a week, but I'll focus more on anterior part of my body. So it's the front side, like more quads, squats, things like that. I never put squats and lunges like with like deadlifts. So then I'll split them up. Do like on, let's say, Monday, I'll do like anterior part of my body. So more like quad focus, more squat focus, lunge focus, leg press, but a little bit lower down to focus more on my quads, things like that. Then on the other leg day, I'll focus more on deadlifts, Romanians, leg curls, like hamstrings, glutes, gluteus medius, things like that.
Okay.
Yep. So.
And then what about like cardio and things like that?
I should do more cardio, but I mean,
swimming's good, right?
Swimming's good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do cardio, best time to do cardio is like right after a workout.
After a workout.
Okay. So on like stair stepper, not even intense, just a little bit. And the reason why is matter of fact, like if you're a bodybuilder, you don't want to do too much cardio, because let's say you do steady state cardio past like an hour. What it does is it actually it increases cortisol levels. So what it does is it actually stops you from building muscle tissue. So like look at like a marathon runner and a sprinter.
Yeah. Yep.
Is a perfect example.
That's the example I use usually.
Yeah. What is that hormone that gets released? They call it the runner's high.
Yeah. It's just cortisol builds up when you're just doing steady state. And so the runner's high, that's more like blood flow going to your brain. And those are the endorphins kicking. You get the same thing from lifting weights or even cardio. So the runner's high is pushing out those endorphins to your brain. And so your BDNF, your brain neurotransmitters are just taking those on, and that's what makes you feel good.
What do you think about like calisthenic workout compared to a traditional heavy weightlifting workout?
Calisthenics is good for, I mean, yeah, it's great. It's actually good to mix it a little bit of everything, but you're not going to build a ton of muscle tissue off calisthenics because it's lightweight or it's just really body weight. And so you're just moving the resistance of your body, which is beneficial. And it's good I'll throw calisthenics with the weight training, but I'll do it as like a superset.
Yeah.
If I utilize that.
You said mix of everything. Everyone who does basic weightlifting, they've heard the term muscle confusion, changing exercise.
Yeah.
Do you believe in that?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Okay. So what that means truly is your body's very efficient. So our bodies adapt to whatever we place upon it, kind of what I was talking about earlier. So for instance, how I kind of like confuse the body is I do like a lot of time under attention tempo is what I call it. So let's say you're going 4 seconds down eccentric phase. That's the lengthening of your muscle tissue. Let's say you're doing a chest press. So you're coming down 4 seconds, hold for like 2 seconds at the bottom, go up 4 seconds, hold 2 seconds on top. And let's say you do 8-10 reps. That's a lot. If you add up all the seconds, that's a lot of time under tension. So I'll mix up time under tension, more like, I'll do heavy weights / time under tension, and I kind of mix them up. So sometimes I'll do like 2 sets of heavy, 2 sets of really slow time under tension, controlled. And so sometimes I go to maximum failure. Sometimes it just depends on what I'm doing, how my body's burnt out. I mainly listen to my body. What my body tells me.
I'm curious about your diet. What's your ratio between like protein and carbohydrates?
So I eat roughly. So I get some from supplement, but solid proteins, I get about 230, 240 grams of protein of just actual like solid protein. What I mean by that is like chicken, eggs. I get about 130 grams of protein from eggs. So I eat about 6-7 hard-boiled eggs a day. And then I would drink the rest of my egg whites. I make like a little shake. And so I'll drink and I'll split it up about 90 grams of protein with the egg whites, about 6-7 hard-boiled eggs. I'll have like 12 ounces of meat, whether it's like chicken or beef, whatnot. Then I'll either have like a cup and a half of like cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, and I'll usually eat that like at my like last meal. And so, but it usually comes out to about 230, 240 grams of protein. And then I take another supplement. It's called Perfect Aminos. That stuff is great, by the way.
Yeah.
It's especially if for like women or people that cannot get the protein. It's a complete protein.
Yeah, I remember one of our mutual friends. He was he was on it. I remember him showing me that.
Yeah. It's the thing I like about that profile is that the number one profile in there is leucine. So talking about mTOR before, leucine is a precursor to mTOR. So when you space it out, you want about 3 to 4 grams, probably like for my size, like 4 to 5 grams of leucine every like 3 to 4 hours, and that just keeps your body anabolic. So that's the key to everything, is splitting up your protein, making sure that mTOR is up.
When's usually your last meal?
It depends. If I'm trying to cut, my last meal is about like 7, 8 o'clock. If I'm not trying to cut, about like 10:30.
Got it.
And it's cottage cheese or Greek yogurt.
Because it's slow absorbing protein. Because
it's got casein. It's got whey. Yep.
What's the whole deal with the whole ketogenic diet? I know that was popular a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they're just fad diets. I mean, honestly, you don't burn any more fat. Like it helps like someone that's obese or someone that has really like type 2 diabetes. It's a good thing to do, like especially at first, because it kind of resets your body. Kind of helps with, and I guess in a sense, like more autophagy, especially if you do like fasting. Autophagy is basically recycling of your cells. So it's an important thing, because when you don't have autophagy, when that's not going on, your cells start to die, I guess you say. Yeah, and you get more, what is it called? Syncytin cells. Syncytin cells are cells that won't divide or die. And it causes mass inflammation. So that's one of the problems of eating all the time. More likely to get diabetes, all kinds of things.
Yeah, they say the less you eat, the more you live.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have to eat, but it's like at the same time, it is good to do cycles of intermittent fasting, like 16-hour fast, 8-hour window of eating.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but just cycling all the time. Like I'll go anywhere from like 12 to 18 hours.
With no food?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if I'm trying to like get bigger or, gain any kind of muscle mass, then every like 12 hours I'll fast.
We have a saying.
Minimum.
We have a saying from back home. We say, "Don't live to eat, eat to live."
100%. That's what I teach my clients.
Take in what you need to.
Yeah, fuel.
Other than that, don't just over.
So my motto, Monday through Friday, I follow a certain diet. It's just fuel. Saturday, Sunday, I have like 1 or 2 meals where it's pleasurable. You hang out with your family, friends, whatever, kind of like what we do.
All right.
And so it's like, you got to enjoy life too, but everything's in moderation. So that's the key is moderation.
Moderation, balance.
Yep. Because we also have the dynamic, like you could be too strict with diet and then you're missing out with things with your family. If you have kids, your kids, things like that. So it's like there's a balance to everything.
Right.
Yep.
Very true. I think we could probably wrap it up here. But this has been great. Very useful information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, like and subscribe. We're gonna keep getting more cool people like Shane and Chronicles and Customs on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Anything, Chris?
No, I think it was a good conversation. Yeah.
This was awesome.
No, it got me thinking,
Yeah.
I can go on for hours. So.
I could go on. I honestly, I could talk about this probably for like 4 or 5 hours.
Doesn't mean we can't bring you back.
Right. I mean, honestly, I can. This is like a subject I could just go on and on about because there's so much information out there. It's like, yeah, I could hold like a whole course.
It's a fascinating, subject. I feel like people chase that enhancement, that human enhancement. It's pilots used to take Medafilin or something like that, fly for days,
And that's the beauty about knowledge and technology research is that we learn more and more about the chemical reactions in the human body. And so by learning that, we can optimize the human body even more. That's why each generation people get more freakish, like athletic, whether you're a bodybuilder, basketball player, football player. I mean, people keep breaking records. It's like, how can you keep breaking records? It's technology, understanding the human body.
Absolutely.
I think it's safe to say this is part 1.
Yes.
So we have part 2 coming.
Part 2 is coming.
Appreciate it, Shane.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you.